Hello and welcome to Blue Army TV. I'm sitting at Carlisle, lost 2-1 away from home to Walsall. And I'll be honest, this isn't really a video I want to make. Because, look, when we've had bad losses in the past, I've been really angry and I've wanted to come on here and rant. But this feels a bit different. It's just frustrating. It's just like demoralising, I think. And I think that's the real danger of it, because we're on such a good run of form. Before this game we were 5 games unbeaten. And it's such a sickening way to lose that game. 1-0 up going into the 88th minute. They get one back. You think at least we've got a replay. 92nd minute. It's a sickener. It's a real sickener. And it I'm not even going to blame the way we tried to see out the game, because it's worked for us. It has worked for us in the past and we're capable of doing it. Because we're so good defensively usually that if we're 1-0 up going into the 80th minute, we can just defend because we're good defensively. And they couldn't break us down. They really couldn't break us down after that. Even coming in that last 10 minutes, they just couldn't break down our defence. It was all them on the ball, but they didn't do anything meaningful with it, and that's because we weren't allowing them to do anything meaningful with it. And Thomas Foley makes a stupid mistake, and it really is a stupid mistake. And look, I wasn't very complimentary of his performance at Salford last week. I thought he was at fault for Salford's goal, and I have had my criticisms of him this season, especially when we first signed him. But it's a bad mistake, and I'm very confident in saying that they wouldn't have scored the second if they hadn't have scored the first. I think if that mistake doesn't happen, we're in the draw on Monday night. But it's another season where we've dropped out of the FA Cup early doors. It's another season gone by where we haven't got a decent fixture to go to in the FA Cup or the League Cup. The closest thing was going away to Cardiff in what was, that they closed down half the stadium. I enjoyed going to that game, and them 2 videos are my 2 most viewed videos ever when we played Cardiff in the Cup. And look, it's because the magic of the FA Cup, you want to play these big teams, and I guarantee you 100% that Salford will go and get a big Premier League team. They'll get Man United, Liverpool. I've said since the start that I've got a feeling about Crystal Palace. They'll probably get them in the draw on Monday, and we're going to be sitting at home thinking that should have been us. And look, people say we wouldn't have been given the same ball numbers what they've been given and all that, but that's how people think about it, isn't it? They draw a big team and you think that should have been us. That's how people's minds work. That's what people will think, and it's so disappointing, because I'm not gonna slate Thomas Hawley too much, because I think a lot of what he did today was spot on, because I've been critical of him for completely different reasons. He doesn't make too many mistakes. I don't think he comes for crosses enough, and he improved on that today. He did do that a lot. It's just one stupid mistake at the end that and I saw someone put it on Twitter, and it's the perfect way to put it. He's just thrown away 70 grand for the club, because that's what we would have gotten going into the next round more if we'd have got a big Premier League club, which we could have very easily have happened on Monday. That mistake will have cost us massively financially as a club, and it'll also just it's frustrating, and it's so disappointing, because we should have won. If them 2 goals come in the 50th minute and the 65th minute or something like that, you're disappointed, but you're not as disappointed as what people will be now. It's so sickening, that result, and it's really ruined my day. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't even go down, and you couldn't watch it at home either, so I had to listen to it on the radio. But man, it's just so disappointing. I really don't like sitting here right now, because I don't want to speak about it, because I just want to forget about it, to be honest with you. And look, we're in a good position in the league, and this doesn't affect our league position at all. It just doesn't do that. But look, I'm so disappointed in it. I just really am. And look, Thomas Hawley has proved that he can be good this season, but it's not, keepers will make mistakes like that. but I just hope it hasn't affected him mentally too much, because I know for a fact that it can. And I know for a fact that goalkeeping is 90% mentally. It's less about your ability than any other position on the pitch. Mentality is important throughout the entire team, but it's the most important for a goalkeeper, because you need to have the right mindset for it to be a goalkeeper. And I assume that he has it, but it will take a big hit, and it'll take a lot to come back from that. And I hope he can do it, because I like Thomas Hawley. He seems like such a good guy, and he's proved this season that he can be so good. And he's the perfect build for it. He's absolutely massive. The concerns were that he was too big. But yeah, it's just disappointing, and I know for a fact they're going to get a really good Premier League club in the next round. So, and then there's the issue of what happened after the game as well, where there's a big fight. Jamie Devitt's come away with a black eye, apparently. That can't be allowed to run. That really can't be allowed to run. But one thing that made me feel better, and it hasn't been the case in recent years, is that I'd put on the radio, BBC Radio Cumbria, and I listened to Paul Simpson's interview, and he's just as frustrated and angry as I am. He's just as down in the dumps as I am, and that's the big thing. We didn't have Stephen Presley going, oh, well, we were ahead for 88 minutes, we were the better team, blah, blah, making excuses. He was just as angry as the fans will be. He was just as... And you could tell he was upset. You could tell that he was, really frustrated with what happened. He tread a very fine line, and I think he did it perfectly, of not, throwing Thomas Hawley under the bus, but also not defending him too much. He's had a stinker today. And he didn't deny that at all. So I think he tread the line very well there. But it's so comforting to have a manager that feels the same way as the fans. It does make you feel better. It definitely made me feel better. And it's just something I haven't really experienced in a long, long time being a Carlisle fan. But maybe since he was last year, but I can't really remember that. So it's good to have him there. But yeah, I guess the only solace you can take from that is that we can now focus on the league, and that's a lie people tell themselves to make crashing out of the FA Cup feel better. But I absolutely adore the FA Cup, and this result doesn't happen in League Two. It wouldn't happen. It just would not happen. I think there's something about the magic of the FA Cup that weird results can happen like this. Weird things can happen because it's a magical competition, and I just wish that we'd have been on the right end of that magic, and unfortunately we weren't. And you just think we go again next year, and that's what's so frustrating about it as well, is there's no coming back from this, because we are out of the competition now, and it's sad, but look at where we are in the league. This is still looking like it's going to be a very good season. Other news coming out: Callum Guy could be out for a few weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. That's not really the big injury issue. Not Callum Guy, sorry. Morgan Feeney looks like he could be out for 3 or 4 weeks, but that isn't the big injury concern, really. It's that Jack Ellis could be out for 3 to 4 months, that's also a real blow, because that's he's not going to be back till the end of the season, really. He'll come back in for the last couple of months or something like that. I saw someone on Twitter suggest that it might be worth just sending him back and getting a loan replacement in January. I don't know if we can be that hasty on that, but he's been really good for us this season. I think he had a little dip at one point where he had a couple of games where he wasn't at his best, but before he was taken off at Salford, he created some good chances, and he had some good chances, and I thought he played well, and he's been one of our better players this season. We're very lucky to have Jack Ellis sitting behind him waiting to come on. We've got real quality in that position. Both of the young fullbacks both do that job extremely well. And I just feel sorry for Finn back, because you can tell that he's enjoying his loan spell here. It's an opportunity to be a part of a success story this season, and it would have been brilliant experience for him being here on loan. But the fact that he's out for 4 months, it puts his position as a mainstay in real question, because if Jack Ellis plays for 4 months, plays brilliantly, you can't take him out of the team for a lone player that's come back from injury. So I just feel sorry for him, and I think it's a real blow for the team. Callum Guy missed out this week through illness. Paul Simpson seems to think he might be back for next week. I hope that's true. Tonsillitis, it's nothing too serious, hopefully. But yeah, thank you for watching. I apologise for it not being the most upbeat video today, but I can't be upbeat after that, and I can't find many positives, and this is a very painful video to make. So thank you for watching. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and in a bit.